Welcome to r/MaliciousCompliance, where we share stories of people conforming to the letter but not the spirit of a request. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. The first story: AH manager insists I run machines non-stop and results in all work being severely delayed. The second story: boss ordered to play a quiz and show who's the smartest. We did it. The third story: workers refused my help, so they did not know how to raise a huge TV. On to the first story. Make parts non-stop but never get them shipped? Okay, boss. Background: I worked at a factory that I absolutely loved. Loved the boss, my manager, now called Head AH, really knew his work and would teach anyone that showed enthusiasm. But then the company merged, and we suddenly had in my section 3 managers trying to prove their worth, who all turned into massive AHs. The place quickly turned into every man for himself. For example, the 10 minutes I spent patching up a coworker before he went to hospital came at the cost of being screamed at and forced to stay back to make up for my timesheets being out. Can tell more tales of this another time. And while my section needed 5 people to run, the way they managed it, people walked out and it came down to me alone. I would have 3 different managers come to yell at me, but not help or hire people to do the work. Seriously, it would be like a drive-by shooting how fast they would come in, scream, and run out. I was desperate to quit, but living paycheck to paycheck, things were brutally hard. My role was to run a CNC router, but had to run 2 of them as I'm now alone, complete the paths, and get it ready to send to the customer. Often from start to ship, my parts are only handled by me. This is not normal. Normally you would someone to help complete the parts. As I'm alone, I have to keep up with the machine. It makes sense to have the machine off at times during the day, while I get things completed. You could expect a screaming if the place was messy at the end of the day. Ballistic screaming. Now for the story. Keep in mind this is 15 plus years ago, so it might not be 100% accurate. I had machined a stack of parts and there was no way I could in my right mind make more parts until I had done the post-processing and had these parts ready to be shipped. There were things that had to be sent that day. Head AH, why aren't the machines running? Me, I'm really behind in this, and Head AH, why aren't the machines running? Me, this is really urgent. Let me get this part sent and I can run the machines after I finish this. Now absolutely screaming and throwing SH. Get the effing machines running, Anon. He starts berating me and saying that the post-processing wasn't important and running the machines was the most important, and that I had to keep the machines running no matter what, and that post-processing can be done by anyone in the factory, but I'm the only one who can run the machines, so I have to run them and keep them running no matter what. Cue malicious compliance. For the entire week I did exactly what he asked. I ran both machines. I would load the programs for the next job, while the machine was still running its existing job. Tool holders were lined up and ready to go. While the machines are running, I would sprint from the machines to the material racks to get materials I needed for the next job ready. I ran those machines non-stop. I did 0 post-processing as I did not have a spare minute. Nothing was finished to the stage where it could be shipped. There wasn't even time for breaks. I made sure those machines ran without a minute of downtime. By the end of the week, I had machined so many parts that I had filled up 3 massive workbenches. These benches were something like 3 meters by 1.5 meters long, and I just kept stacking the piles as high as I could. The best thing is that the urgent work is now on the bottom of this pile, and the work due next week was on top. This is literally hundreds of different customers' orders. I don't remember the hours I pulled at this exact time, but I've done shifts such as 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. 80-hour weeks without overtime pay were usual for me. When SH finally hit the fan about work not being sent out, Head AH had to come and talk to me, and you could see something snap in his head while he was trying to talk to me. Head AH, Anon? Me, sorry, not now. I have to run the machine. I just ignored him and kept setting up the next job. Head AH, stop. Just stop. He starts by trying to ask where XXX job is, and I'm just like gesturing, it's under there, man. I swear, you could see him dying inside. He starts berating me on how there's no point turning the machines on at all, unless the work is completed all the way and sent. He really got stuck into me, but then he's like, just leave the machine off for now and start completing these jobs. But then we both start on completing different parts, and within a minute he sees me and instantly, get the machines running, Anon. And I think is here when he realized that it's all his fault. And as I'm walking back to the machine, I swear he looks up at the roof, screams, F! And it's as if his soul left his body, and I'm laughing hard remembering this. He yells at me, leave it off, and as I start finishing parts again, He looks at me and he's about to say the line again, but instead looks up at the roof and screams again. It was like every time he saw me, he wanted to say it. He lasted maybe 10 minutes before he couldn't take it anymore. He storms off and sent someone over to help. But all the urgent work was buried deep. We had to complete non-urgent work first to get it out of the way, so that we could find it. And guess who suddenly left work on time every day and stopped working weekends? In short, with people helping me, it took over 2 weeks to catch up and clear the backlog. Those urgent parts were at least 2 weeks late. It took a lot longer for the schedule to return to normal. The second story is, show 'em how smart the accounting staff is at trivia games? Okay, boss. At the turn of the century, I worked as an accountant for a major sports team. The owner hired a new VP of Human Resources who immediately fired the Chief Financial Officer. The CFO's duties were shifted down the accounting staff, and we were a small staff of 6. We were swamped. At the same time, the new VP of HR organized an all-staff trivia contest between departments. When those of us in accounting saw the email, we immediately deleted it. We were already working evenings and weekends just to keep up. We had no spare time to spend an afternoon playing games. When the VP of HR saw that no one from accounting had signed up, he called another accountant and me into his office. He insisted we form a team and participate in the event. We explained how incredibly busy we were, pointed out the deadlines we were facing, and told him how many hours everyone in the department was working. His face turned red. He stood and pointed a finger at me and said, "This is not a request. This is mandatory. You will attend the trivia contest, and you will show the entire staff how smart the accounting staff is." He glared at both of us in turn. "Do you understand?" We nodded and left his office. Halfway back to the accounting office, my coworker gestured to the restroom and we ducked inside. They try to make the employees a family and friends. I have a family and I have friends. Now, can we just get back to work so I can go home? "If we've got to do this," she said with an evil grin, "let's really do this." I nodded, catching her meaning. She was a highly educated, brilliant person who was well-versed in politics and current issues. I'll call her Ivy League. My talent is a bizarre memory for odd and normally unuseful factoids. The trivia teams had to be 3-player, and we decided to recruit another coworker who knew sports statistics to the point of being overzealous. I'll call him Sportster, and he was the perfect fit because we knew they'd have a lot of sports trivia in the game. We pulled him aside and went over our plan with him. We would show him how smart the accounting staff was, and we would do it as fast as possible so we could get back to the piles of work waiting for us. He was all in. On the day of the trivia game, all staff met in a bar in the empty arena. Ironically, the VP of HR was called away on an HR emergency, so he didn't show up at all. There was an open bar, appetizers, and a few of the sports team's players and broadcasters attended. The other trivia teams represented ticketing, guest services, operations, security, marketing, broadcasting, IT, the foundation, etc. I would estimate nearly 200 people were there. They were all drinking liquor and filling up on the bar food. The 3 of us from accounting drank caffeinated soda and stayed sharp. And we dominated. The game was structured so 2 teams would play each other while the rest of the staff watched. When a team lost during a round, they were immediately out of the competition. It started as a fun event, with laughter and teasing between departments. During the first round, our team easily and fiercely trounced the competition. The 3 of us stayed deadly serious and focused throughout the game. Ivy League was superb at answering the classical knowledge and politics questions. Sportster covered the world of athletics, and I was able to pull up anything they couldn't get. As our team quickly routed our opponents and moved up in the tiers, the laughter died away, and the fun atmosphere disappeared from the bar. We won the competition, were each awarded a small plastic trophy, and we left immediately, going back to the piles of work awaiting us at our cubicles. That evening I worked quite late, quietly plugging away. Our middle manager accountant was in his office working and probably didn't realize I was still there. Someone stormed into the area and went right to the middle manager's office. What the hell happened at the trivia thing? It was the VP of HR. The middle manager talked about how Ivy League, MN Golden Girl, and Sportster were so intent on winning, it made everyone uncomfortable. I realized I had to make my presence known, so I grabbed my trophy and stood, prairie dogging over the cubicles. "Hey, you forgot to tell him," I said. "They tried to distract us by bringing the players and the on-air talent." I laughed and set my trophy on the corner of the cubicle. But we showed them how smart the accounting staff is. I didn't wait to see their reaction. I just sat and got back to work. In the 10 years I worked for the organization, there were no more all-staff trivia games played. The last story is, let you handle it? Okay, I'll just be over here. Background. I'm the video conference and audio-visual specialist for a state agency. This means that I assist with any meetings that use MS Teams, WebEx, Zoom, and anything in between, along with troubleshooting any issues with video conference equipment, TVs, Crestron racks, etc. However, if any equipment needs repair or replacement, we have a contract with a third party to come out and investigate. I'm also a mid-30s man, though I could probably pass for 20s, hence the kid remark later. And while I'm not going to win any strongman competitions, I'm 5'11", pretty stocky, and work out regularly. Incident. This happened last week. There's a TV mounted in the director's conference room that's been acting up for the past few weeks. Every time I think I've fixed, it'll bug out again. Either the TV won't power on, or it will power on but only show a black screen. TV won't respond to any inputs, etc. It may work for a day without issue, and then the next, everything I try won't get it working. Basically, the TV is foobar. I call up the contractor and explain the situation, and he then proceeds to talk down to me like I don't know how to do my job, which already rubbed me the wrong way. Contractor, have you tried this? Me, yes. Contractor, this? Me, yes. Contractor, this? Me, yes. Contractor, okay, well, good news. TV should still be under warranty with us anyway, so we can probably come out and replace the TV. Me, okay, great. Well, give me a time so I can be available to help y'all out. Contractor, we can handle it. We'll be out sometime tomorrow. Me, okay, great. Click. Now, what I had neglected to tell them was that this TV is an 84-inch Panasonic LCD display. It's a beast and very heavy. 84-inch large format 4K professional display, THQ84LQ70U, blue square dot digital. Notice the weight in the full specs, 238 pounds. Next day comes and in walks a 5'5" man in at least his early 60s, with very little muscle on him, and a tall lanky dude that I'm not saying was an addict, but I am saying he was missing a lot of teeth. Face was pretty scarred and didn't look particularly fit. No way these guys are getting this TV off its mount. Shorty does the talking here. Shorty, you call about the TV? Me, yeah, look, this TV's pretty heavy, so you just let me know where you need me to help get it down. Shorty, no need, we got it. Me, trust me guys, this TV is a monster. Shorty then claps me on the shoulder. Look, kid, I've been doing this a lot longer than you, okay? Just leave it to the professionals. QMC, me, okay, right this way. I lead them to the director's conference room and they're all cocky smiles until they see this TV and their faces drop. They just sort of stand there in the doorway in a brief stunned silence. Me, well, I'll be at my desk if you need anything. I walk off, and the way my desk is positioned, if I lean just enough I can see into the conference room. I watch for a while as these two pace around the TV a bit, scratching their heads, trying to figure out how to get this TV down. Finally, I see them try and give it the old heave-ho with Shorty standing on his tiptoes, trying to lift this TV off its mount. His face turns beet red, and his arms are shaking pretty hard. They give a few more tries until finally deciding they can't get it. I see Shorty heading my way as I lean forward back to my desk. Shorty, hey man, would you mind giving us a hand? Me, actually some important emails just came in. Points to a screen he can't see that has Reddit pulled up. Shorty, it'll only take a minute. Me, I don't know. I'd really like to leave it to the professionals. Shorty, please? Me, you know what? Sure. These emails can wait. Closes Reddit. We walk back to the conference room. I take one side, they both take the other, and all three of us heave this TV off and onto a dolly. They take it off and bring in a much lighter flat screen as a temp replacement. They set it up and pack up to leave. Me, thanks guys. I clap Shorty on the shoulder. And hey, I'm here if you ever need anything next time. Shorty, yeah, thanks. Grumble, grumble out the door. New TV works great, by the way. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe.